Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, Lorianne Campbell is going to talk to us about the irresistible offer and the perfect pitch. Now, Lorianne is an author. She is a master certified handwriting analyst. As a matter of fact, the only one in Canada. She's also a graphotherapist. So, Lorianne, tell us about the irresistible offer and the perfect pitch.
Perfect. So we're going to start off. We're going to be talking about the irresistible offer. I'm going to go through it. I know that there are things I'm going to have to explain why I've actually done this, and I will take my time, Wendy. So is it possible that we have, I guess I just have to make sure that you can share your screen, right? I always have this problem here because I keep forgetting. Hold on a second here. Are you able to do that? No, here we go. Now you can. So basically what we're going to be talking about is there are two different steps to an irresistible offer. You can have the best offer ever, but if you can't pitch it, and we're not going to be going really big on the pitching side of it because that's not what I'm going to be talking about, but hopefully what we can do is bring that to the next level. I do want to say I'm really glad to have Doc here because he is actually the one who graduated me to master's handwriting, certified handwriting analyst. And thank you for being here, Doc. But yes, we are going to start before we do this with what are you grateful for today? And I'm going to go around my screen. So Doc, you're the first one.
Okay, I'm grateful. We finally, after 2.5 weeks, got out of quarantine. We can leave our room now. So it's a little bit of freedom, which is nice. That's why I'm in a different setting now.
That looks great. Excellent. Roy, you're next on this side.
Okay. Well, I'm grateful. One of my sisters about 2 weeks ago was riding a bicycle, fell, and broke her arm or elbow. I'm sorry, her elbow. Pretty bad. As a matter of fact, the doctor said it was the worst break you can have for an elbow. She had surgery. Everything is good. She goes back tomorrow for a follow-up, but the doctor is really encouraged about how she's healing up. So I'm happy for that for her.
That's excellent. Wendy, your turn.
I'm just really happy that the sun is shining today. Birds are singing. I opened up my eyes and I get to spend time with my sweetheart this week.
Jenny, are you able to join us? Perfect.
Yeah, so I'm actually really grateful for my house and the house of my family, and just that we're having a good life actually, having a nice house and having food every day and being able to go out and do things, and yeah, so just having a good life.
That's awesome. And I'm grateful for the book coming out and the fact that we all have the Advanced Branding Collaborative. We're all a part of it. And that is what collaboration is about. And I'm really excited about that. I can't give you an exact date. It's now at the publishers and it's being formatted and edited, but holy moly, I had Makeup Not Required, that title 15 years ago. And now I've got my group of friends, they say timing is everything. And this is why it's supposed to come out now. It's because of that. So thank you very much. So we can start the presentation. Wendy, do you have that, or am I going to be presenting it on mine? I don't mind. I've got either way.
I can if you want me to. It doesn't matter. You tell me what you want.
Okay. I can go ahead and start it. That's fine. Let me just share my screen. I'm hoping that I have it up here.
I'm happy to do it for you if you want.
You know what? Why don't, yeah, if you can do that.
Okay, you'll have to give me permission to share.
It should be there. I gave permission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that way, because you're sharing your screen, if I get knocked out of the internet that I do every now and again, you'll still be able to continue. So
hopefully that will be true. Okay, let's see. From the beginning. All right.
Okay, I've already been introduced, so we can move to the next one. By the way, just quickly on that, the signature, if you guys have a profile picture, I highly recommend that you do your signature on it. Just makes you a little bit more personalized, which is kind of neat. So Mark Joyner, I'm just going to say, how are we selling the product? And you've got 3 seconds or less. This is in the irresistible offer. They're going to look at it. They're going to either like it or not. He's been in my life since 2008. And that's actually, he started in the affiliate marketing way, way back. And he's still there. And he gives really good information. So that says, what do you do, right? So I'm going to read this because I don't know the stating, but really, what do hospitals, haberdashers, and hookers all do? And I know that last part, people might say, why do you have that in there? But it's true, they make offers, right? So business simply it does not get done. In fact, it doesn't even start until an offer is made. And that's Mark Joyner that stated that.
So I have a question.
Sure.
What's a haberdasher?
You know what? I don't know. Does anyone here know?
Is it a
Good,
hat?
Roy does.
Yeah, it's a clothing.
You're
Yeah.
right. They sell clothing, a lot of hats and material for clothing. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I suspected, but I wasn't sure.
It's
That's when I saw that word. I couldn't believe anybody still uses it. I haven't seen it in years and years and years.
It's a very
My
old
great grandmother told me about it.
Yeah, very old term.
Well, funny thing is, there is one term there that still is used, though, right? That we still listen to, and it is as old as that one, probably.
Right.
So I'll go to the next one, please, Wendy. Thank you. So again, Marlon Brando, again, I'm using things that people might question, but in The Godfather, I'm going to make you an offer that he can't refuse. There's the good offers, the great offers, and the irresistible offers. So start backwards. This is really interesting. I found these in an article about irresistible offers. And starting backwards makes sense, because when you're going to find the product or the service that you're going to want to be able to provide to somebody, if you go backwards in your life and you look back and say, why does this mean something to me? Why would I want to be now with this? Is it everybody who does that? No. But what you're going to do is, if you're going to be actually selling your irresistible offer, it's going to mean more to them, which comes to the next story, because you're passionate about it, because you've gone backwards and you looked at, why did I choose this? You're able to tell a story to actually overcome their objectives. Does anybody here, are they interested in actually giving me an idea of what you think that would be for you? So is somebody offering something here that they look backwards, this is why I want it, and I can tell them a story why I'm going to overcome their objections?
See, I thought when you put that up there, start backwards, I thought you meant start with the end in mind. Start with the end result and then work backwards to create your offer.
You could take it that way too.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. Thank you, Wendy. In the case of what I was reading about, is sort of going to, and you know what, that point is well made, but you can also start backwards and thinking, where did I start with this? So you're going backwards, because now you're here, you're doing the offer. Where were you there to start it? But I like that idea as well. Obviously, be seen as an authority. We talked about writing a book, being an author, being out there. There's several ways of doing that. Connecting, doing lives. Obviously, the book is a big one. Quite often they say, if you have a published book based on what you are known to do, that will give you authority. And then I like the relax and unwind, because I have my moments where I get all stressed out and worried. But if you're going to be doing, let's say, a webinar or a Zoom or whatsoever, and you're really stressed out about it, and you're not rewinding, you're not relaxing, people will see that, and what they want to see is the real you. How much do you feel about this? What do you really like about this? And if they see your enthusiasm and you're relaxing, you're going, yes, I know that this is what I really want to do. And you're rewinding yourself and calming. It's a better way to present yourself. And we always say too, just be true, be honest, know your product, your service, and engage people in a relaxing way. And that's really important.
Lorianne, I'd like to talk on number 3 for a minute. Back in the 1980s, way back when, that's when I published my first book. And up until then, I'd been giving lectures. But as soon as I began the lectures after the book, and they announced that I was an author and showed the book, the audience reactions was different. The questions were different. They kind of sat up and listened. Just that one little thing of having that authority symbol made a huge difference in just how they listen to you.
That's absolutely true. And that's a known fact. And some people would say, well, there's so many authors out there, there's so many books published. But really, if you look at the percentages, and I don't have them here, it's still very small. So,
well, even if there are a lot, the people that have already written a book know how difficult it is and time consuming. And the people that never have think, oh, I could never do that. So it's still a win-win situation.
that's exactly.
I was just going to say that I think a lot of people think that writing a book is an overwhelming proposition.
And it is at times.
But you could
Yeah.
also get someone to help you, like a
Oh, yes,
ghostwriter.
yes.
So
Sure. So we'll go to the next one, please, Wendy. Okay, I just like this just simply because it's the truth. 86,400 seconds in a day, and you have exactly 3 to capture them. And I know you're talking about an irresistible offer here, but when you're reading something on the internet, so let's say that you're trying to get someone to be captured on your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, how many people scroll? And it's worse today, like I said, today we're even more impatient because we have the social media. And when I'm scrolling, if I see something that really grabs my attention, I'll stop long enough to do that. But I can guarantee you it probably took 3 seconds for me to see that ad before I stopped. And if I'm not interested in that 3 seconds, I'll move on. Just something that's really worthwhile knowing and understanding when you're doing that irresistible offer. You have to capture their attention. That could be graphics. That could be the fact that they know you. But most of the time you'll find that it's graphics and how you're pursuing it and the title. So we could go to the next one. So I like this. Unfortunately, I should have put anonymous because I don't know who wrote this, but I love it. What is the irresistible offer? It's actually quite simple. When your prospects read or hear about you, your offer, it should appear to be so incredibly compelling that you're being so utterly generous with them that they feel like they're totally ripping you off and getting away with it. Now, I really need to show this video because I think, okay, unless all of you have seen it. Have you seen the IKEA video? The YouTube? Okay, if we could stop sharing for 1 second, Wendy, I've got to show you this because I thought this is so perfect. Now, it's not really an item, but I laugh every time I watch it. Let me just go here, share screen. And I believe I can find it here. Hold on a second. Nope, that's the wrong one. Sorry about this. Just give me a second. I did have it here ready to send to you guys. Just give me a sec. Hold on. Let me try again. I got to go into my other screen. Hold on. Sorry about that. Where did it go? Sorry about this. I'm trying to find it. It is so funny, and I don't know why it's not on here. Okay. Sorry, I'm not able to get it up for some reason. Let me just exit my full screen because I had it up on my YouTube here. Oh, that's why. Okay, sorry, my Google is not responding. I'll actually have to send you the link on this because it's not responding for some reason. Okay.
Do you want me to go back to sharing screen?
Yeah, we'll just do that. That's too bad because it was so funny, honest to goodness.
Well, can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so this lady goes in, she goes into IKEA and she walks through the line and gets her bill at the end of it, and she's looking at it and she goes, and then she runs with her cart and she yells at her husband, start the car, because she thought they made a mistake on the bill. See, so she's thinking that she's ripping off Kia and she's running away from having to pay the rest of it. Literally, I have to put a link on here when I find it. It is so funny. If you actually type in on Google or YouTube, woman running away to car, you'll see it. That's what we were trying to say in that irresistible offer. They need to think that they're ripping you off by taking something that you're offering to them. So I just love it. I'm so upset because I even went and found it. It took me a while. Move to the next one. I will give you the link on it when I find it. So what does make your product service irresistible? Yeah. So obviously you need the relevance for somebody to capture it. You need to be credible. We talked about, your books, if they're out there, they get to know you. And then the return on the investment. That's really important. So if I'm going to spend this much money, what am I going to get out of it? And most people are going to want to make money off of whatever they're buying from you. So you've got to make sure they know what they're getting back from that. Now, not everybody will do that right away, but at least they know that it's there for them to do it. Understand that. But if you can capture them right at that moment, that's important, which means, again, to the next one, the sense of urgency. Now, I know that some places that they do the irresistible offer is going to have a countdown, right? So they're going to go like, you've got 24 hours to do this. That's a good technique. In my case, when I'm doing it, I just tell them you've got 24 hours. And then I prefer sort of the more, what's the word, personal aspect of it. So I have their emails and I will send them an email. Thank you so much for being with me on my Zoom. And just to let you know, there's only maybe 5 hours left. I really hope that you join us. So there's two different ways of doing it. And then they, again, are reminded of that sense of urgency. And it's a good thing to remind them because sometimes they'll go out and they'll forget that there's 24 hours left. If you don't have a funnel that's like a click funnel and constant, it's the best way to do it. And then, as we spoke about last week, Roy, you set that up, ideal client customer. If you are sending this out to people who don't give any care about what you're providing to them, then you're not going to get any following on it. You got to make sure that that's there. And does your offer seem too good to be true? I don't know how many people out there have seen that, where you see an offer and you're going, no way. Like, that will shut them off right away. I won't even go any further if I see something that looks too good to be true. So make sure that there's an honesty involved in that. And kick in anytime if anyone has questions, please. This is probably my favorite one. Be creative. So when you're crafting your offer, shine and make yourself shine on it. We're talking about branding here. People want to see who you are in the whole aspect of that irresistible offer. So if it's just words and they don't see you, you're going to lose out on them. Also, payment plans. Not everyone can do this, but there are opportunities to do that. I don't have a list of them because that's not this discussion. But you can actually, if you've got a $5,000 offer, there are places that will actually help you do a business plan on those, which is pretty incredible. A lot of people don't know that. Now, yes, will they take a percentage? Absolutely. But if you get your, let's say, the value of your time, because that's the important thing to cover, is your time is covered in that first payment. And then, of course, you might lose out some people that are not going to continue paying, but you're already covered by those people who are helping you with that coverage, which is really interesting.
A lot of people
Cover
will,
shipping. Sorry, Wendy, did you want to say something?
a lot of people will build that into the price of the payment plan anyway. So you just increase the payment, each payment a little bit more than the overall cost would be to make up for the percentage you have to give to the creditor or the entity that's helping you, subsidize it.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of them throw it into handling and shipping.
Yeah.
And that's how they cover a big hunk of it too.
Which is the next one about, can you cover the shipping? You just add it to the price and then you can cover for it. A 30-day trial. A lot of people use this. Quite often you'll find that there's not a lot of people come back and cancel out the order, particularly if it is an irresistible offer. They're not going to, but they just feel more comfortable knowing, if I'm not happy with this after 30 days, I can actually cancel. And then that's pretty well with the creative, with your guarantee. I don't know enough about this to speak to a bigger percentage of that, but it's something to consider. And there's so many different aspects of that. And then again, the thing is, can you add special bonus offers? We have in a book, and this is something interesting because now having gone through the course of learning about a book is not just about your expertise. It's also making them go to your website, driving them to your website. And then inside of that, you've got your special offers. And you can put that on the top of your book in the front saying special bonuses go to, and it drives them to your website.
So going back to your guarantee, I cannot for the life of me remember whose webinar I was watching or training. They said that it is absolutely critical that you offer a money-back guarantee because less than 10% of people will actually use it, but it gives your offer all the credibility in the world because it tells people that you think that your product is so good that if they don't get results from it, they can get their money back. Whereas if there isn't a 30-day money-back guarantee or whatever, then people will be suspicious of your offer because they think that you're holding something back or it's not as good as what you're saying it is. So
Thank you.
10% or less will actually exercise the money-back guarantee option.
Yeah, I think it makes them feel safer as well.
Yeah.
To actually take this step, to buy it.
For sure. Any other questions, comments? Okay, so move to the next one. So this is where we're saying be generous. You don't want to be overly generous, but I think this is the one that could be confusing to people. When you're sitting there and you're actually doing an irresistible offer, what you want to do is make people feel that you're being generous. Okay, so you can actually, you've got your low cost and then you've got your high cost values. And sorry, it's Canada Day, so it may make some noise back here. So basically, your prospects truly want what you have to give to them. Okay, so we're talking about that. If you give them something for lesser, and if I can get the second part of that, because it's going to give a little bit better idea of this. So your bonus offer. Quite often what you're doing is if you give them a bonus offer, so you've got this big ticket item, but you're going to give them something smaller, but you're going to give it to them for free. That will actually get them to go to your next level. So your irresistible offers are not always just one level, and generally they are not. So you're going to start with something, and also make sure if you're going to give them a bonus offer, make it relevant, make it something that they want, and that's also going to drive them to your larger value product. So what you also want to do is with that product that you're giving away, and we talked about this, so you've got a book and it's $29.95. So you've got to give the value of that, and then you've got to let them know, but you know what, I'm going to give that to you for free, and I'm going to send it to you as a book signed and pay the shipping. Or you can say, but you know, you pay the shipping. So what you're doing is you're giving something that's got a value for nothing, but you always have to say, now is that book $29.95? No, you probably actually published it for maybe $3. But what you're doing is you're increasing the value of that. And so they believe that they're getting a more significant product, if that makes any sense to anyone here. Yeah, so that's what that is. I know it's not worded properly. I got it, but it's a little bit more difficult to understand, except for if you do that. So yeah, write a book, costs you probably $5 to publish it, but really ultimately when it's on Amazon, it's going to be $29.95, but I'm going to give it to you for free. And that's right. And be relevant. It's got to be something they want. Yes, this one. This is important. It's really simple. You can just write them down. Irresistible offer. What people want, what they need, and what's missing that can correct their problem. Yeah, pretty well everybody knows that, but if you could put it all together into that. I do have to speak to this, and I know Wendy, you know this, and quite a few people here know this. Of course, Doc, you're one of my mentors. But being in a mastermind and having mentors, if you're not 100% sure how to put this together, is absolutely wonderful. I can tell you that some of them can be pretty critical about what you actually present. If you're in that mastermind, they say, well, send me your idea of what this would look like. And one thing you've got to know, if you're going to be in a mastermind or you're going to have a mentor, you're going to have to take the constructive criticism. Sometimes it comes pretty strong, but once you realize what they're doing, they're making you better, and they've been there and they've done that, and it's so valuable. So I want to say that as much as this sounds great, simple, need, what's missing for the problem, it really takes someone who knows to learn from how to combine those three into a really compelling, irresistible offer. And Wendy, like you said, I know that you've been involved with mentors, and we see that.
So one thing I think it's important to always remember is people will never buy what they need. They will always buy what they want. Especially in this type of setting. Yeah, I mean, people are going to go to the grocery store and they're going to buy their groceries, or they're going to go to a home improvement store and they're going to buy things that they need to fix problems that they have at their home or in their yard or whatever. But in terms of self-improvement or products online, you know, that kind of thing, they're going to buy what they want. However, your offer also needs to include what they need, even though that's not why they want to buy it. So like Lorianne says, you have to give people what they want, but you also have to give people what they need, and that's how you solve their problems. that's what makes them happy, even though they bought it because they wanted it. But if all those things are there and it's, you know, their problem is solved, they're going to keep coming back to you for more and more and more, because they will trust you and they will believe in what you have to offer them, will help them.
Doc, did you have something to say?
I was going to say, that's why in stores, companies spend big money to place their items at the checkout line, because you're standing there and you tend to grab something. Oh, I don't need that, but I want it. And they sell a lot of stuff in those lines. It's an expensive piece of property for businesses to have. So they pay big bucks for that candy and stuff at that place.
The same with the shelf that's at your eye level.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the expensive stuff is at your eye level, and the cheaper stuff is either above or below.
Those are good points. Now, the other thing too, though, is if there is something that you want. So I need. So I needed a lamp. So out of the list of lamps that you're going to go on, you want to be the one at the top that person is going to want to pick. So there are products where, yes, you need, and the better price, better value. So it depends. And you're right, absolutely, Wendy, if you are in the branding, in the therapy coaching, such and such, then definitely it's going to be something that they're going to want. But if it's going to be something that they need, you're going to also have to increase that. Wow, I'm looking at this going, yeah, there's 5 of them here. I like that best. And why? Probably just because of the packaging and how they wrote up the explanation.
The sales, yeah, the sales description. Yeah, exactly. People get paid big bucks to write those 3-line descriptions for products.
I missed my calling.
I know, me too.
So I understand this is something that I do every week, and I'm not selling it, but this is just an example of, and we understand this. What are you going to do? So I've got this starter course. I can change the pricing of what I want on it, but what they need to know is it's worth $628. So that's the stacking. So the irresistible offer also needs to show them you're going to stack the value of what you're doing. So I can say, oh, you know what, I can mentor you. You know, I'm going to charge you $2,000 a month. Well, what am I getting out of it? You're just a mentor, or you're a known mentor. Okay, I'm not a Tony Robbins, so I've got to be able to sell myself to, this is what I'm offering you. I'm stacking the value of it. And then, you know what? Tonight and tonight only, I'm going to give you that for $200. So now they're sitting there going, wow, that's a good value. If you don't stack the value of what you're offering, they can't really perceive all of what you are giving them. I think that's important. I just put this up because, like I said, I do my webinars, and it's really important to be able to do that, to be able to show people. And you see it. What was it? We were talking about that, Roy, earlier, right? So we've got, how many people do that? Right? The Russell Bronsons and all of the top people, they're going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And not,
so
and not only, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just going to say, and not only that, but when they do that, they tell you, they repeat it 3 or 4 times so that you keep hearing it over and over, the value and the stacking, and, you know, you can get this, or they'll do like 1 or 2 and then they'll add the 3rd one, but they'll go back and repeat the first 2, and, you know, and so, yeah, really kind of drilling it in, because, you know, people don't always listen the first time they hear something. So, or the second.
Very true. So here's the fun part, though, that I was told, and I love this because this is true. And again, sorry, this is just a picture because this is what I do, and it made me understand more of the irresistible offer. Is if we go to the next one, Wendy, start with your big one, though, within 12 minutes. So what you're doing, you start your big one. This is the big ticket one. I'm going to tell you that's $3,000. But then, and you drill that in too, as you said, Wendy, but then you're going, you know what, but you can start with this. And quite often, they'll sit there and go, oh my goodness. And I did it. I started with the 101 way back when, and then I went to the next level up because it's a trial basis. And if you've got a good enough product or service, they will move up to the next one. Doc, did you have something to say?
I was just wondering, do you do that in your signature talk too?
I
In
do.
the first 12 minutes?
I know. I
Yeah,
just learned
okay.
that. I just learned that. I was just
Oh,
told by
okay.
Bart, you know what, 12 minutes. Because it used to be
Right.
at the bottom of the presentation. They go, no, you've got to put it at the top. This is something that I actually just learned. Is that you have to do that the first 12 minutes. Then you go on with your presentation, and then you move to the next part. But that should actually be there in the first 12 minutes.
And I would like to complain a little bit.
Okay.
In that previous slide where you had the different items, told, you know, they added up to this big bonus. On the one at the bottom, it said live telephone analysis, $300. I only get paid $15 for each one.
Yes, but you see, it's part of the package.
I know. But
You know
that's
what,
how you
though?
that's how you
Doc,
build it, though. That's the idea of you build
Yeah.
it. You make it sound like it's a real, which it is, but that's part of the whole package. And you do it for other people and tit for tat.
And in all fairness, Doc, you're worth the 300.
Well, that's what I tell
Seriously.
everybody, but they don't listen.
Oh, you're wonderful. Learned so much from you. Okay, and then we'll move on. So this is where we're going to be coming to the end. We'll ask some questions, but again, what we were saying, and this is not part of this presentation, but with your irresistible offer, you need the perfect pitch. You need to know when to come in, who to connect with, if you see somebody, if you see people even in a presentation and they're kind of going, well, then you're not pitching it properly. Be careful, watch the people. And that is going to be the final sale, is your perfect pitch. So you can have the most irresistible offer in the entire world, but if you can't pitch it, you're not going to make the sale. And then I got my next one that I love. I don't know how many people have seen this, but literally, perfect pitch means you're pitching perfect. And that's a great movie, by the way. And it does give you some ideas on that. You need the perfect pitch to pitch it perfect and to make the sale. I'm hoping that maybe, you know, we can do that next week all together. And what would be interesting, I don't know, we can all like, you know, vote or not, but where everybody actually comes here on Wednesday night with their perfect pitch. Now, I know, Wendy, that perfect pitch, we do that with one of our mentors. This has been something forever and a day. And I've done it with a couple of my mentors in my masterminds. But it's kind of fun to say, put it out there.
It's not as easy as you might think.
It's not. And then because this is such a comfortable place to be, we could kindly give constructive criticism to say, hey, think that and that. It's an idea. It'll be interactive. We can see if anyone's interested in doing that. So
Sounds good.
that's an idea.
Oops, sorry. I didn't realize that was there.
That's okay. So that's where I put to be announced, maybe the perfect pitch. Perfect. We'll see.
Okay. Well, that was a very interesting presentation, Lorianne.
Thank
Learned
you.
some stuff. I did not know there were 86,400 seconds in a day. And did you know that prior to the internet, well, I don't know if prior to the internet, people used to, oh yeah, that's what it is. People used to give you 12 seconds to try and get their attention.
Oh, it's sweet.
That's why like commercials are 15 to 30 seconds long. When the internet started, it went down to 8 seconds. And when social media started, it went down to 3.
That's interesting.
Yes.
So we can probably stop sharing, and if anybody here has any other questions or we want to chat about any of this, or if anyone has a irresistible offer they want to share tonight, why don't we do that? Come on, anyone have one? Oh.
Call me irresistible.
I think, Lorianne, you're probably the only one that's doing a regular irresistible offer webinar, aren't you?
Right. No, I think she is, yes.
Every Thursday night I do. I mean, and you know what? It's fun. But we're talking about that as well. If you're going to do a Zoom, don't worry about it. I had like 13 people and it was like, whoa. And then, oh, the other thing too, if you need pictures, I found out, tell them to send them to WhatsApp first. My goodness, that was the best thing I ever learned. And I went from 13 one time, 8 the other time. I had, oh my goodness, I think 17 at one time. And then I had 1. And you know what? We had a great time. I said, I'm not canceling this just because you made it here. We're going to go through it. So she had my one-on-one team. That's a big information. And did I sell her anything? No. She was already in one of my packages anyway. But we built that relationship. That one person's going to tell, okay, this is the commercial, right? So we'll tell 2 friends who will tell 2 friends who will tell 2 friends the shampoo commercial.
That's right.
Right. But it's true.
Jenny's probably too young to know that.
And that's the best advertising.
Yeah, it's the word of mouth.
Yep.
Cheapest too.
Mm-hmm.
So you just have one person doesn't mean that you're not going to get sales down the line. And their relationship with you is the biggest part of it. And was what I said on our last group meeting. I said to Bart, I said, you know, I really don't mind people not liking me, but it sure is nice to be liked. And they told me they liked me. And, you know,
It helps.
It helps. It's not that hard once you get used to it, and it's a lot of fun. And you get that one person off that might send you an email saying, oh my goodness, I didn't get anything out of this after an hour and a half. And then what you do is you just write them back. There's one of 2 things you can do. Write them back, say, is there anything that I could have helped further? And then if they write back to you and say, no, you're just an idiot, then you just say, no, okay, that's fine, bye-bye now. But then this person actually reached out and said, look, I'm in real estate. I want to know how to make, because her signature was perfect, but she wanted it bolder. That's not what my signature program does. It tells you if you need to fix something in it. But if you want to change it to be more dramatic, and that's where you have to connect with your customers. You can have an irresistible offer. They don't like it because you're not really providing them with what they're asking, but they're interested in it. There's also little aspects of it that you got to change, right? Make them understand it. That's fun. It is fun. You guys all have to do one. I'll be there. Oh no, wait. We have Roy and I though too. We do Zooms once or twice a week. And we also are on podcast right across the whole platforms from everywhere. And if you don't mind, I do have to mention this one I'm excited about. I don't know if any of you guys know Yuck Yuck's Comedy Club, but it's huge in Canada and it's all across. And I'm good friends with Mark Breslin, and he's agreed to do our next podcast. I'm so excited, I can't even tell you.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so really excited. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I don't want to keep anybody's time further, but if there anybody else who wants to say anything?
No, I think you covered it all pretty well.
You sure did. It was a good session.
Thank you, Doc.
Great job.
Always lovely to see you here. Roy?
Yeah, great job. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks, Marianne. Sorry, I've got school holiday dramas here with the kids. So.
I really appreciate you being here, Jenny, and beautiful introduction again to your beautiful daughter again.
Because I've got both today. Usually I only have her, then it's all right. But with both, it's difficult.
Love you, Jenny. And we will be in touch with everybody watching. We will actually post next week, Wednesday, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we will post our newest, when we come up to it, It may be the pitch perfect. We're thinking about it, but we'll definitely post what our next program is going to be probably by tomorrow. Good night,
Good,
everybody.
good. Thanks.
All right.
Good
Bye,
night. Bye.
everyone.
Appreciate it. Bye, everybody.